Alrighty, folks, welcome into the Shootaround, the Dream Guest Draft Edition. This is off the heels of our interview with Ali Marpet. We thought this would probably be a fitting draft to do. So here we are, the Dream Guest Draft. We are doing, did we decide dead or alive or both or just
Alive.
alive?
Just
We're doing
alive.
just alive
All
tonight.
right, so we're only allowed to pick people that are currently alive. They could have one foot in the grave. That's fine, but as long as they're still alive, still kicking, we can take them. For example, Jerry Sandusky. So
Well, I thought he was dead. Is he not dead? Did we figure that out?
no, he's alive.
Yeah, we talked about that on a past show.
Yeah.
It's 6:40 on Friday night, so he's probably currently getting Eiffel Towered right now.
I was gonna say, I bet his beehole hurts.
Well, at this point, it's probably like a hot dog down the hallway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I wish, but realistically, that dude is just straight chilling, having like an easy life. Yeah,
I'm sure he's getting sockeyed right now. That thing's out.
All right, so anyways,
dude, he has like private shit. He's all good.
So this is going to be a 5-round draft, snake draft. We got Bean going first, myself second, and Buzz will be picking third each round. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, etc. You guys are all familiar. I feel like that's it. Like we said, only live people, 5 rounds, and I guess without further ado, let's get this popping. So Bean, first overall, who you got?
All right, I'm taking a guy that I personally love. He's hilarious. He's had a great rise to fame. No, we're doing alive, man. He would have been on the dead list. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna pick. He's also heavily involved in the UFC, and he's also the guy that gets all the best interviews in the world. So why wouldn't I want to interview the best interviewee of all time? I would take Joe Rogan.
I should have just taken the damn first.
I thought you were about to say Dan White, but yeah, Joe Rogan.
Nah, I should have just taken the first. That was like, that was an easy one. God damn it! All right, yeah, that's a great pick. It's a great pick.
Joe Rogan. There you go. What would you ask him? What would your first question be?
Probably just like how he got to the point where he's at. Because like the first thing I ever saw him at was in Fear Factor, and I know he had to have done several shit before that.
Not a bunch.
I'd like to know what just like his gradual staircase to fame was to get to the point he's at now.
He's been doing comedy since like the 90s too. So
right, yeah, he's been a comedian, but I just and now like I said, he's the guy that gets all the best interviews in the world. So why wouldn't you want to interview that person? And he's just funny in general. He's very tied in with the UFC, which I'm a big fan of. So I just think it would be a really cool interview. Could do that for hours.
And Ben, you might know this, but wasn't he before Fear Factor? Wasn't it called like they didn't air for very long. He was in like some sitcom thing called like Radio or some shit like that. Not like the movie, obviously, but it was like I think it was Radio something or something Radio or whatever. He was in something like that. But if you guys have listened to that a lot, he talks about like how for a while there it was like I guess a lot of people do. He's like, yeah, I got to work the door at the comedy club, and then like they'd give me like a 5-minute thing or whatever. Like so, like he did have to definitely work his way up. But I thought, I don't know if you were gonna say this at all. I mean, like as far as the reason why, but I also thought like, for the fact that we're literally a podcast thing here, I thought it was cool to be like, hey, like what are some what are tips though to like become like how like I mean obviously being famous is a great start and you can't replicate that for us obviously, but just like what are some tips to make a podcast great?
That's a good reminder, Buzz, because I was about to throw in the clarifier that for me when I was thinking about this list, it would be dream guests that would be on this show. So it'd be like that type of thing.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And the hard thing is too is like a bias thing because there's so many people. I'm like, I know that maybe a lot of people would be like, whatever about that, but I'm like, no, this would be sick.
Yeah.
All right. So Joe Rogan 1-1, first overall off the board. So I'm up next, right?
That's you.
Okay. So this pick might come as a surprise to some people.
Surprise in round 1.
As Buzz likes to say, I'm a bleeding heart left-wing liberal. But despite that, this guy's going to be my first overall pick. I got to take him going Donald Trump. Going Donald Trump.
Yes. All right. Nice little fake there. All right.
Going Donald Trump, baby. I mean, you got to have him think about all the stories he's got. You know that he's he would be loose with the stories. He'd tell us where the UFOs are, all that stuff. So, he'd be a great guest. So.
Dude, we talked right before. We're assuming we probably should have mentioned that before we started. We're also assuming when we say this that is like the people we interview, they have to tell us everything.
Exactly.
Right. We're going to get a legitimate answer to any question.
Yes, because I was thinking him too, because I'm like if he has to tell us everything, and also the fact that like I don't care about we talk about a billion times. It's not about politics, this and that. Just the fact that like you want to talk about someone that can make things, even if he definitely doesn't even mean to, just like funny by the way he talks and the things he does. I'm like, nah, he would be hilarious.
Not to mention the life that he
the
lived
shit
before he was
talking he would
president.
do.
Like he was fucking, like he was alive and kicking and doing big things during the 80s when all that shit was going down. I'm sure he's got some crazy coke stories in fucking Atlantic City, and he's got some wild stories. So I mean, it goes without saying, Donald Trump.
Yeah, and if we assume that like he can say whatever he wants and he has to tell us, like he's a notorious shit talker that pretty much says what he wants now. So imagine if it was like truly like, oh no, like
no filter.
What? Yeah, that's why I was talking to you guys about earlier, because that's what I was trying to kind of get like some parameters set. Because I'm like, yeah, a lot of people don't like him. I guess not a popular pick as far as like, oh, people like him this and that. But at the same time, he would be an absolute like in the insane amount of like craziness we would hear if we had him.
Yeah. So to summarize it, I'm very pleased with getting that. I feel like that's a 1-1 overall value. I'm getting it at the second slot, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So third overall pick of the first round, Buzz. What do you got?
So we said they have to tell us anything no matter what, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going right now. O.J. Simpson.
Oh, dude, that's a great pick. He wasn't even on my list, but that's a great pick. That's one of those guys. I said it before we started recording. There's going to be people that I completely spaced on this list, and he's one of them, dude. That's a great fucking pick. Great pick.
Yeah,
I had to take him. I was like, come on now. Yeah, if he gets to tell us anything. That's why we set those parameters so I know. So I got to make sure. Hold it really quick. I'll take my next pick. I just want to mark them off, but it's not even. We don't got to say a bunch about this because we already know what the big thing would be. Is like, yes or no, man. You kill her. Like, what happened?
The only thing I would say about that is like he's been so adamant about his innocence that like, what are the odds that he?
Well, no, but I'm saying
you know what I'm saying?
No, we said they have to tell us anything, as in they have to be truthful. They have to tell us. They have to be truthful.
That's true. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like that's why same why like I said why Trump would be crazy one to have, because it's like imagine the shit if you're like, I mean, he says what he wants now, but imagine the shit if like he had to tell you, it'd be like, oh god.
Yeah, good point. So yeah, he would have to tell us the truth. So there you go. All right. So and then you got the first pick of the second round.
Yes, the back-to-back gets me, but I am going to go with Elon Musk.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yep, he's on my list. Yep.
Good one too.
He has to be. There's a bunch of people I'm sitting here that I'm already regretting because I know you bastards are going to take them, but I have to. I feel like OJ and Elon to start. Great start. So
Elon was going to be an early one for me. So yeah, that's a great pick.
I'm very curious too about how I know there's a lot of like just bullshit on the internet. You never know what's true and what's not, this and that, but like. You see a lot of stuff about how he gets pressure to be like, you know, like he gets a lot of pressure from people that normally would probably be able to pressure him better, but he's so rich that they can't, you know what I mean? Like type deal. So like, I'm curious about the things that he's been like asked to do that he was like, no, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Like that type of deal. It doesn't even, So all right. Those are my first two though. Pumped with those two.
All righty. So my pick now, it's the second pick of the second round.
Yep.
Obviously it's early, so the board is wide open. There's a lot of picks I could take here, but I'm not sure if he's on your radar. He probably is, but I feel like I should snag him now while I still can. I'm going Mike Tyson.
Oh shit! Yep, that's one. I knew it. That was the one I almost took him over Elon Musk, but I felt like Elon had to go. So yeah.
Mike Tyson.
That's a great one.
Going Iron Mike.
Yeah. Mike Tyson. You know, like
my back. It's broken.
Yeah.
Dude, Boz, remember that that part
Great
on
episode.
one of our early episodes, where we all like took turns imitating Mike Tyson. Oh my god! I gotta go find it.
I came into I went and took a piss. I came back in and I could hear like you guys were talking like that. I knew I was going. I can't remember what I said exactly, but it's basically like, what up with this? Like instantly right into it. Like yeah,
you nailed it. Yeah, I gotta go find that clip. Maybe I'll find it and put it into this episode. We'll see, but. Yep, Mike Tyson, second round pick. All right, Bean, last pick of the second round. What do you got? And then you got back-to-backs, actually. So,
all right. I guess it doesn't really much matter which order I take him in. So this next one is he's a super controversial figure. There could be any endless road that I take to ask him whatever I want, and he's got to answer it.
Alex Jones.
That's a good one. Not on my list, but yeah.
For sheer entertainment value. And just like how many different turns that interview could take for mood swings, whatever you want, I'm going to have to go with Kanye.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just have so much hate for him, I couldn't even put him on the list, but yeah.
Another guy that I didn't think of, but that's a good one. Be on the list.
Yeah. No, I definitely thought him, I just hate him so much, but it's a good pick.
I would be doing it for the content, 100%. I genuinely, I wouldn't really give a fuck about the majority of it, but if you could get him to sit down for 2 hours with no filter on any question you're gonna ask him, that's gonna be a wild ass interview.
Yeah. I almost wish it was Buzz interviewing me because they could just commiserate about how much they don't like, the Jays. But
yeah, well, I just clearly said I hate him, but yes. Yeah. See, this is the thing. That's why I can never have my face on anything, because you make me sound like the worst person in the world. People are like, yeah, he's such a piece of shit.
Well, I mean, you have bought every album, so.
I had what?
I said you have bought every album, so.
No, I don't even like his music. He would be interesting, but I think his music's pretty shit most overall.
No, that's the funny thing, because in reality, like, anybody that knows Buzz in real life knows that, like, that's one of his arch rivals is Kanye.
Kanye.
He's a big time hater. Yeah. And it's not just because of what. So
that's why I didn't even like asking Allie that. Like, I did for like the funny part, but I didn't even like saying Kanye like to him, because I'm like, I hate this guy so much. I hate Kanye.
But regardless, a great second round pick.
Yeah.
Great second round pick. Let's kick off the third round. What do you got?
Rounding back to the third round. Only sports person I have on my list. May have tipped my hand. You're not going to have to worry about losing the sports guy to me after this one. But it's going to be Michael Jordan.
Motherfucker. It was literally my first one on my list. I just didn't take him because I didn't think anyone really cared enough to do that. But
no, I just think between his level of greatness, getting to ask him questions about certain situations in his career, and then just on top of that, I'd want to dive into every aspect of his gambling life and his drinking and all of that. The stories that you would get from him,
his golf shit,
just the gamble, just the gambling.
So many good stories.
It would be absolutely wild.
So I like it
because I mean they've always said, I've heard people say like Michael Jordan has kind of like this god level to him, where like LeBron is so much more scrutinized than MJ ever was, and I've heard people make the argument that if MJ grew up in this era with all the social media and everything, he would get torn apart for some of the shit that he was a part of back then.
And the stuff he would say, at least, for sure.
And with MJ, I wasn't really thinking about this whole factor of it, but it definitely is true for MJ. Like, he's a guy that, like, he doesn't do a ton of interviews, so you're going to get a lot of like fresh content. So like a lot of these people that we might
we're
pick
also
tonight,
assuming they have to tell us, like,
right? Like a lot of these people that we're picking tonight, they're probably done more interviews than Jordan has, because Jordan is like notorious for like, no, I don't do interviews, so you'd probably be able to get some good shit at him. So
I really didn't think anyone was going to take him, which is probably stupid of me, but that's why I didn't even bother yet.
And then you could be like,
one athlete that I had.
Then you could be like, did your son's fucking Scottie Pippen's wife, right? Like,
no, it's the opposite. I think Scottie Pippen. Well, no, was that how it went? Is that how it went?
Yeah, Michael Jordan's son was at
Michael
a game
Jordan's son with Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what. Okay, yeah, even better.
Yep.
No, Michael Jordan's ex-wives don't get fucked. That's for sure.
No, they die. That's it.
Great back-to-back picks. So,
all right, boys, that's it. Yeah.
So this is the second pick of the third round, right? It's me.
Yes.
Alrighty. I feel like I might be able to get him later, and honestly, the more I think about it, this probably should have been a longer draft, but still, nonetheless,
I'm taking do it on the fly.
I'm taking Adam Sandler.
Oh shit! I had him too coming up.
Yeah, I'm taking Adam
one
Sandler.
of my back-to-backs coming up.
I probably could have taken him a little bit later. Well, it sounds like not if Buzz is going to take him.
No, you couldn't know, because I was thinking like Chris Farley stories. There was too much. I'm like Saturday Night Live in the beginning. Like there was no, he was on my next back-to-back.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll take Adam Sandler in the third round. So that's it for me.
All right.
So Buzz, you got back-to-back. So last one in the third and first one in the fourth.
There's so many people on this list that makes it so hard. So I guess for now, what I'm going to do is, at least for the first one, then I'll try to figure out my second one. But I'm going to go with Tiger Woods.
Another guy that was not on my list, but that's a great pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tiger Woods. All the stories
he has to spill. Yep.
He has to tell us everything, and I want to hear all of his shenanigans.
All the piece cheating. Of it.
Oh, yeah. I want to know if he used a condom or not. Highly doubtful, but
he did not. No, not a chance.
Definitely didn't.
No, definitely didn't. No, he is one I definitely had on there. I just felt like I was going to lose him, but because of this, and he really wasn't going to be my next one originally, but because I feel like I'm going to lose him if I don't know. There's actually, you know what? If I lose him, I lose him. As much as I don't want to. This next pick I'm going to go is Dave Chappelle.
Oh, he was on my
That's
list.
a
I was
good
about to
interview.
take him. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah,
either
I'm
going
going
to take
Dave,
him or
so.
I was either going to take him or Sandler. So it sounds like we kind of swapped there.
Yeah, that is definitely what happened because I
Yeah.
wanted Sandler pretty bad, and I was on there. It was one like MJ where I was like, it might hang around. So yeah, that's where I'm going with.
So give me a quick recap. You got give me 1 through 4 that you have right now.
I'm gonna
Buzz
hope
has
that Bean
O.J.
down.
Simpson. Yeah, O.J. Simpson, Elon Musk, Tiger Woods, Dave Chappelle.
It's a good list. That's a scandalous list, but a good list.
Yeah, the dirty dirt.
That's what I want, though. I want the tell us shit. So
it's a good one. Well, I'm gonna mark off Dave off of my list. Fuck, probably should have done a 10 round instead of 5, but
yeah, we could always extend it. We'll see.
It's all right. So my 4th round pick, right? Second pick of the 4th round.
Yes.
What am I gonna go here? So this one might be controversial. Might sound like a dumb pick, but I feel like he would be an entertaining guest, and I feel like he would spill all the secrets that you want. I feel like he's got a lot of shit that he knows that he hasn't said yet. And he's also a fucking loose cannon psycho. I'm gonna go. I don't know if I should do this. I'm gonna go Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. I feel like he would be entertaining. I feel like I might have missed on that pick. I feel like there's better people, but also, like I said, I feel like that would just be a super entertaining interview. Like he's going to talk shit about he's going to talk shit about everybody he ever played with. He's also got the experience with the Steelers, so I want to get the inside.
And he
scoop
has to
on the
tell you
Steelers
everything.
teams.
I mean,
tell me
he's
everything.
a good one in that sense.
Yep. Did you actually fart in that therapist or the masseuse's face? All that stuff. Actually, I think that's Peyton Manning. But either way, I feel like
it makes me think like shit of Deshaun Watson now.
Yeah, he would be. He's a loose cannon. He's a psycho. I feel like it would be a fun interview. He'd spill the beans on a lot of shit. So yeah, Antonio Brown.
Yep. I like it. I like it a lot.
All right, Beans. So last pick of the 4th, first pick of the 5th.
Yes. So I'm gonna go with this guy for his, just his stories that he would have to unearth if I were to ask him. We're dabbling into gambling stories, massive sex stories.
I think it's mine.
And he's very, very rich as well. We're going with Dan Bilzerian.
Okay, not who I was. All right.
Good one.
That's a good one, but not who I had. All right.
If Buzz had the opportunity, he would have taken Andrew Tate all 5 rounds.
I honestly didn't. I don't know about you guys, but being serious, I didn't even know who the hell this dude was until honestly, I heard his name just right up until the whole whatever the hell he just got in trouble for, sex trafficking or some shit. But I still didn't even know who he was. I just started seeing his stuff because because of this podcast, I got the Instagram stuff and I saw people making fun of Andrew Tate. Basically, I was like, who the hell is Andrew Tate? Apparently, I didn't even know he was was he a kickboxer? I don't even know what the hell he was.
Yeah, that's all I knew him from.
Yeah. I didn't even know that. I'd never heard of this guy, and everyone's one of the most popular, most viewed or whatever controversial. I'm like, who the hell is he? I've literally never heard of this dude before this shit.
Would you attempt to play poker against Dan Bilzerian, Bean?
No, absolutely not.
No.
Oh, I would 100%. He's got rich boy daddy money and shit. He doesn't. I don't think he's actually good. I think he's just fucking.
But I mean, would we be? But that's the thing, though. I couldn't even go to a bank and get a loan.
You get a free. No, you get a free.
No, he'll pay for
free buying. Free buying.
Yeah, he'll pay for your
free buying. Jesus. Oh, well, fuck yeah. Of course I would. Then.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would actually be another great draft. Your top 5 people you'd want to play poker with, because that's a whole different now you're playing poker against them and that'd be a fun draft to do later. But anyways. That was your 4th round pick. What do you got? First pick of the 5th. It's your last pick, Bean.
Yep. And I got to go with this guy, which is tough because he did just do a major interview. But I feel like the avenue that I would go down for questions would be a lot more different than the one that he did. So I would go Dave Portnoy.
Good one. Yeah, he was on my list. Interesting one. Yeah. That he would be a guy where I would have so many questions about Barstool. I would be like, who loves to do coke? Who's that asshole in real life?
Exactly.
What is Big Cat? What is his units? Like there's so many questions. Like, yeah.
That's something you just find out intricacies of how Barstool started, his rise, gambling stories he's got, drug stories, just
I should have taken him
anything
early.
that he
That's a great pick.
Anything that he's like too much in the limelight that he could never say on camera. Like those things. Dave Portnoy's got just endless stories. And it would be funny too. Like not even just the story, but he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's
might be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like he also isn't. I could be wrong too, but I feel like if he has to tell us everything, it's different. But I also feel like he's not as wild as we think, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I feel like not saying like why he hasn't done wild shit or whatever, but I just don't think he's like that. I don't hate the pick obviously because it's just an amazing pick in the sense of like what he's built, and that's what goes back to the podcast stuff. But it's I don't know. I don't know why. I have this like irrational thing where I just feel like he's not like as what do you call it, like as like cool and like carefree and does wild ass shit as people like kind of make it out to be. I could be wrong. Maybe he does, but it just doesn't seem that way. But also he's done is insane. Yeah, exactly. Because he has to tell us. So what he's done, it could be insane. So
yeah, even if he doesn't have like a ton of like personal life stories, like I said, I would just want to grill him about Barstool, like the inner workings of everything. And
for sure, it's how to help us too. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So this is me, right? My fifth round pick, second pick of the fifth round, last pick. I feel pretty good about this one. This is another one that's like, it's, I'm not sure how many people are going to relate to this, but I'm a huge fan of him, and I feel like he would be great on our show. It's definitely like a goal of mine. I don't think maybe we'll achieve it someday, but a guy I would love to have on, Shane Gillis. Taking Shane Gillis, fifth round pick. Gotta have him.
Absolutely. I absolutely love it. I love it. I had him on my list. I had him on my list too.
That's a great fifth round value. Great fifth round.
It was a great pick.
Yep. I'm happy to have him on there. There's a lot of guys. I mean, I feel like our draft is going to be like 25 minutes, and then the other 25 minutes will be honorable mentions because I have a ton of honorable mentions, but I feel like I got to have Shane Gillis on my list. Fifth round pick. That's good value. So I'm happy to have him. Shane Gillis.
Yeah. No, I love the pick. I'm gonna tell you right now. This is why I was like kind of talking to you guys before, like about workshopping. We could always go back because realistically, at least best case scenario, that what we hope for is that it's going to keep growing and stuff. And realistically, people won't look back and care if we redo shit. You know what I mean? Like whatever, do it again, this and that. But I was thinking the same thing because I have so many comedians on my list that could just because I'm thinking about like I want it to be a fun podcast. You know what I mean? Like a fun podcast. I want to be able to say like reckless shit and like they're like reciprocating. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
No, exactly. Like with
so
him,
that's why there's so many people. I'm like, shit. Like, I mean, like I want them, but also if I'm only picking 5 in general, it's like I want to try to go for the big hitters, and then
with Shane Gillis, it wouldn't be obviously it wouldn't be as much about like the stories he could tell us. I mean, I'm sure he's got some great stories, but it would be more so that he would be just a fantastic guest. It'd be a lot of fun. He would be a big name for the show. Yeah, I feel like it would just be a lot of fun to have him on. So
I mean, he's one of my favorite comedians right now for sure.
Yeah.
Him, and he's not going to be my pick, unfortunately, but he is one that I had on here. Again, that's why I was saying, like, if we did categories, I guess. Like, Shane Gillis, same idea as, like, Theo Vaughn for me. Like, I'm just, like, he's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorites right now. Like, him, Bobby Lee, like, those guys. Like,
yeah, Bobby Lee was on my list.
Yeah, they'd be awesome to have, but that's why I was saying, like, we had separate because, like, same time, that's great, but, like, I can't sit there and justify taking Theo Vaughn over Tiger Woods. You know what I mean? Like that type of deal.
It's not a question. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
If Chappelle had still been available, I would have taken Chappelle instead of Gillis. But yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Nonetheless. All right. Last pick of the draft. Last pick of the fifth round. What do you got?
Yeah, this is gonna kill me. I'm literally I'm taking one last 10-second look through my list because this is, like I said, there's so many people I think are just awesome that I'm like that'd be crazy to have, but I feel like I have to just for the fact they have to tell us everything. We get so much information in so many different ways. Dennis Rodman.
Okay.
D-Rod.
About North Korea.
You're talking Dennis Rodman. You got North Korea, but you also got you're like what happened back in the day with him and when he flew. He was in Vegas. He was doing whatever. He was out, like doing all this gambling shit. He left and he went to New York. Why am I blanking on her name right now?
Carmen Electra.
Yes, right. He wasn't that the one he flew to like go out and bang for Carmen Electra and came back. Like came back. No, wait, no, wasn't it the singer girl? Who's that singer?
Madonna.
Madonna, that's what it was. The Madonna story. I'm pretty sure it was. He left to go out and like hooked up with Madonna and then came back. He did Carmen Electra too, though. Think about the stories this dude has. I mean, this dude is like. I mean, there's so many people on this list. I'm like, damn. Like I hate, but I mean, Dennis Rodman. He's also just a crazy dude. An absolutely crazy dude. So the stories you're gonna get are wild.
Would be a great guest to have on the show too. Think about that conversation. You get him for an hour.
That's what I'm saying. Huh. That's what I'm saying. And honestly, I feel like he's one of those ones where I almost don't even need the like the what do you call it? Basically the perk that we added in for our for our draft sake, in the sense of like they have to tell you everything. I feel like he'd be like, I'm pretty much telling you everything. You know what I mean? Like,
and brother,
he seems like a pretty good dude. Like
Rodman knows about perks. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it'd be a crazy time. Yeah, I got to pick him because I also got to know, like, like if he's out there in North Carolina, I feel like Kim Jong-un's probably like, like came in like thought it was like some crazy secret, like, oh, funny story, Rodman. Everyone's starving. This is true. This is true. Everyone's starved. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
you see my uncle? I kill him.
Great 5th round pick. So we've all got our lists now. So why don't we each go through our lists respectively, run through them, and then we'll do some honorable mentions.
Bean's gonna do it for me because I didn't write them down.
Yeah. Oh, so we're writing down the honorable mentions.
No, we're not writing.
We'll do it after. No, we're saying you. I don't know how my list written down for everyone. Just run through in order.
Yeah, Bean, just run through your list, and then I'll run through mine, and then we'll do Buzz's too.
All right. Yeah. So I only came in with like 8 people. I wrote down a couple other people while we were doing the show, but Seth Rogen would be one for me.
Oh, I meant like just like quickly recap what your picks were.
Yeah.
Oh, recap.
That's definitely an honorable mention. He was on my list for sure. But yeah.
Oh shit. All right. Yeah. So mine is Joe Rogan, Kanye West, Michael Jordan, Dan Bilzerian, and Dave Portnoy.
Strong list.
It's a wild list. It's a wild list.
A lot of different facets in there. Yep.
My list is Donald Trump 1, Mike Tyson 2, Adam Sandler 3, Antonio Brown 4, Shane Gillis 5.
I am shocked you didn't have. I am so shocked you didn't have Alex Jones in there. Thought for sure, but
like I said, I immediately regretted the Antonio Brown pick. I feel like I should have taken someone else, but still.
I don't hate it because think about the if he's got to be like completely truthful. Think about how just hilarious it'd be when he was just like he's like, I was definitely lying about that, or I was just I was just being whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to have so much shit that he's if he has to be truthful.
Yeah, you got to ask him about living with Tom Brady. You could just be like, "What's the weirdest thing you did in Tom Brady's house?"
Yeah, I would ask him where he most frequently masturbated in Tom's house.
Yeah,
so did you wait till you were in the shower? Did you just go right at it in the bed? What did you do?
He seems like a dinner table guy to me.
Oh yeah, you'd want him at dinner. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so what's Buzz's list?
Oh yeah. Buzz's list is O.J. Simpson, Elon Musk, Tiger Woods, Dave Chappelle, Dennis Rodman.
A lot of sex stories in there. A lot of sex crimes, probably.
So much sex.
I mean, there's that, but also just like absolute shenanigans. These dudes, like for the most part, all absolute just animals that did whatever the fuck they wanted. Like,
pretty much.
That's what I like. That's why if we're doing honorable mention, I'm gonna go ahead and steal the cake right now and tell you right now the one that I wanted to take really bad right after Tiger Woods, and then I didn't go that way. I took Rodman and said shit, but John Daly, dude. I thought John Daly would be an amazing get. You guys, we can switch off with honorable mention stuff, but I had to just say right now.
You want to go?
He was really hard. He was really hard not to take. We can go in twos.
Yeah. So John Daly, and then let's do that.
So I gotta. Give me a quick second. I guess if I'm just going, I gotta. Like I said, I had a list of like. Actually, is that like 50 now? But right after, I mean, there's so many people that'd be just awesome to like talk to and the crazy stories to have. But the next one I had though, and I know he does a lot of interviews. He's talked to a lot of people, but just because I think he's absolutely hilarious. I think he just seems like a legitimate, like good dude. Is Steve-O. I gotta have Steve-O. Like he was one that like I could have put it on my list of top 5 to be honest. But like Steve-O is there. And honestly, I'm only saying this one because I already mentioned it was Theo Vaughn. He was clearly like another one that Theo Vaughn was definitely one I would have on there as well.
No, yeah, Steve-O's a great one. That's another one that I didn't think of. That he probably deserved to be on the graphic with all the stories he has about like Jackass and like
amazing, dude, amazing.
Yeah,
like I said, the only reason why, because we decided the whole like they have to tell you everything. I'm like, he's told people pretty much everything about his life. He's already said a billion times he's an open book. So I'm like, it's not. I mean, he's easily a top 5 guest in a lot of ways, but just in the fact that we're like, you have to tell us things. That's why I'm like, all right, well, Tiger, Dennis, you guys have come on and tell us stuff.
Yeah. All right, so I got 2 honorable mentions that I feel like there's going to be so many that deserve to be drafted. But anyways, my first 2 honorable mentions I'm going to go with. First one, Bert Kreischer.
Yep.
Obviously a killer in the podcast game. He'd be a great guest to have. Hilarious, great stories, all that shit. Goes without saying, you know.
He was actually the first. Yeah. He was the first person I had. I'm not going to say the other person because I feel like you might say it, but I had Bert / somebody as literally the first things I put on my list. Like, so I agree with that. I think Bert would be amazing. He's just also one of those dudes that's he's hilarious and he's fun. Like, I like fun people. He's fun.
And then my next honorable mention, I was deciding between two Celtics, but I feel like this one gives a slight edge. I'd like to have KG.
Yep, I had him on my list.
I probably should have put him instead of Antonio Brown, but nonetheless, KG, that'd be a good.
To be honest, I think Antonio Brown's but I think you had a better pick with Antonio Brown just for the fact they have to tell us stuff. And at the very least, think about how many times you'd be like, I lied. Like we have so many times we're like, I was a lie. Like, yeah. I mean, that'd be great too.
And then what do you got for honorable mentions being?
So I did kind of mention one second ago. Seth Rogen would definitely be one for me. Would smoke a bunch of weed, just the endless stories. He would have me laughing the whole time. I just think that'd be such a fun interview. Another one that I had, Steve O's already been mentioned. I had Johnny Knoxville written down just for the same,
that's a great one.
Same thing, kind of where he hasn't done as many interviews, I would say, as Steve O. So there may be some more. And he was kind of the head of Jackass, so you can kind of talk about how that all came together, all the different wild shit that they've done for all the same reasons Steve O was picked. Either one of those would be amazing people to interview.
Have you seen anything being on like the Johnny? I think Steve-O talks about it a few times, but there's stuff on Johnny Knoxville about like how he was the one that like came to MTV with this idea and like kind of like where he came to someone, got the idea put together, did all this, and how like he was making especially in the beginning when they're doing all this crazy stuff, like the original Jackass, especially all this crazy stuff, like he was making way more than like pretty much everyone else.
No, exactly, because he had like I think it's it's called like intellectual property. So like
so he's the one that came with the idea. He did this and that. But what I love about him is he didn't shy away from anything, even though he was the one that like came with all that. And he was making more money. He also got absolutely destroyed on that all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Like, he didn't shy away
from the show and then make other people do it. Like
outside of Steve-O, I don't know if anyone like, I mean, Chris Pontius, he went wild too, a few other guys, but I mean, outside of Steve-O, I don't think John Knoxville is definitely at least a 2 on like the craziness of the shit he did on that show.
Right.
100%.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. So he was one I had, which would have been just absolutely wild.
All right. I'm going to do another 2. The next one would be, I feel like Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman would be a good guess.
I had him on my list too. I like him a lot. Yeah,
Jason Bateman,
big Jason Bateman guy.
Yeah, I feel
he's a rager, and I like that he's a rager. He's like you can tell he's even talked about. You guys listen to Smartless at all that podcast?
Yeah,
no.
Like Will Arnett messes with him quite a bit, and like he basically like Jason will basically own up to it. He's like, he used to be like an asshole with a coke problem and drinking problem. Like he's like he seems like a good dude now.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I don't think people realize that Bateman has been in like Hollywood, working in Hollywood for like a long ass time, and he's got some crazy party stories.
6 when he started, dude.
Yeah, like from the '90s, like all the wild stories from the '90s that he's wrapped up in is wild. So he's got like a ton of Hollywood stories. So yeah, he'd be a good one. And then my next one, I feel like this was like an under the radar pick. I feel like I should have stolen this and put it on the graphic because no one else was thinking of him. But what do you guys think about Eminem? Right.
Yeah, I had him on here.
Eminem?
I definitely had him on here. And to be honest, I can't even say exactly why I didn't pick him. I think it's in a weird way. I think it's just because there's so many interviews and documentaries and shit about him out there. I feel like there's just a lot of. I mean, I was really basing it off of like, well, if they have to tell us shit, like, what are you going to tell me that I don't know?
Right. Scandals.
Like, yeah, exactly, and that's kind of where that came in. But no, I mean, I love the pick. It'd be crazy to have. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was just the fact that I'm like, well, he's had a shit ton of stuff. That was it. That was the only reason why. He'd be awesome to have, though. I'm sure he has shit he hasn't said too. So
right.
Now, what do you got, Buzz, for?
Well, okay. So are we just doing 2 now? Because like I said, I have so many people, so I can rage through a list. Or are we just doing 2 still? Because I can just do 2 more right now.
Yeah, just do 2. Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna go Bill Clinton.
Oh.
He was almost like one that made the top 5, but Bill Clinton for sure.
Yeah.
So Bill Clinton is the one I'll start with, and the next one I am going to take is. Give me a second, because I'm looking for them. Make sure I didn't miss it. This guy's. It goes back to the fact like I know they've had interviews, so that kind of takes away, like the fact that you can't really like where they have to tell us everything is really where I'm looking at. So because they have to tell us everything, actually, I am gonna go Bill Belichick because that dude doesn't talk at all, and I want to hear more from him. And if he has to tell us everything, I want to know, like, hey, did you and Brady make out? Like, like what happened? Like, I want to know everything. So I'm gonna go with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton and Bill Belichick, I mean, is the two.
I've got comments about both those. First, with Bill Belichick, I feel like we've seen in a handful of interviews and like the inside the NFL shit, like you get like peeks and glimpses of Bill Belichick where it's like, oh, he actually does have a personality. Like he can be like funny and like all that. Like, so I feel like if you get him in his zone, like, yeah, he would be a good guest because he would.
The HBO documentary is a good thing. Him and Saban, like that was a good one because he meets with him, he talks to him, and you see that they're a little more. But they also had their time where they were like off camera, like, okay, you guys can't be here for this. It was like the off camera shit. Like that's what I want to see.
Right. And then with Bill Clinton, I feel like I would want to. I don't know how much you guys have heard about these stories, but like I would be interested in Bill Clinton before he was ever president. Like when he was the governor of Arkansas. I don't know if you guys have heard the stories about like what he was into, but allegedly he was like involved with like drug traffickers and like he like allowed people to like fly planes into Arkansas and land there, and like that was like their distribution point. Like there's some wild shit out there about Bill Clinton. So
I think as long as he got a dome, he's good.
I'm actually instantly regretting saying that on a public platform because I'm gonna get targeted now. So if I end up dead, like that's why.
No, you're not the first one to have those say that kind of stuff. That's the thing. The messed up part is that like the further we get along in the world, we're like, oh, that stuff actually definitely happened. It doesn't mean everything is true, obviously here, but it's like, oh, that's not that far fetched. Not at all. Now let's be real. Come on, if you're the governor of Arkansas. Are you going to be like someone's like, hey, you're going to get millions of dollars. We're just going to land this plane. You're going to shut up. You're like, yeah, I don't care, dude.
Literally.
Like, I'm in Arkansas right now. Like, nobody cares about this state. Most people forget about it. And
that's
it's
exactly why they went there.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, go ahead. Land wherever the hell you want, dude. Like,
yeah. If listeners at home, if you haven't dug into that, I would suggest digging into that because there's some wild shit out there about that. So,
dude, any politician look in their shit. It's wild.
So, Bean, you got a couple more? You want me to go? You want to go? What do you got?
Yeah, I can just rip off. I got 4 left of people that actually
just rip. I rip off all 4. If you got 4 left,
empty the clip, baby. Empty that clip.
All right, so we had a couple more comedians on here. I had Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart.
Yep.
I
actually forgot about Will Ferrell. That sucks. That's a good one. But Kevin Hart, yeah.
He's practically family at this point for you, Bean. Seen him so many times.
Seen him a couple times. Yeah.
You're like back in the 70s when people would follow the Grateful Dead around. That's you, Kevin Hart.
Just spells Kevin Hart around.
All right, sorry.
All right, I mean, it was a. I did see him when he came to Maine, so I think that was legit. And then he played at Foxwoods. Like that just had to go. You got to go to that. But so yeah, I got another actor on here, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
Oh, yep, had him on there. It's a good one.
I think he was a child actor as well, so he's been in the business for a long time. He only dates girls under 25. So,
Bean, have you? Speaking of his younger roles, have you seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I was gonna make a joke about Buzz, but
oh,
great, that's awesome.
Well, Leo DiCaprio plays.
We don't need to hear it.
He plays a special needs kid in that movie, and I was gonna say that was based on Buzz's life story. But
so you're making fun of special needs person. What a great person you are. All right. What else you got, Bean?
Last one I had was just for sports purposes. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh my God!
Being a soccer fan.
Well, you're talking famous people in the world, sure. I feel like he's
Bean, was Messi even on your list?
Fuck no.
Does it hurt you that
little bastard?
Does it hurt you that Messi is better than Ronaldo? Or
no, it doesn't hurt me that people think that.
Oh,
yeah, I like that.
That
people think that. All right, exactly.
All right, well, that might be a good celebrity fight. It'll be me. Actually, no, it wouldn't be because I get tired in 2 seconds, and Bean actually goes to the gym and all those like 6'3". So
well, congrats to Bean. Congrats to Bean for nominating the first female. So that's good.
Yes. Oh my God, yeah, we haven't had a single one. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a single female on my list of like 50 people, so that's not great.
I actually desperately tried to think of one. I'm like, man, there's not even any women that are coming to mind. Like maybe I should even.
Isn't that hilarious? It's like we could sit down with any woman on the planet for 1 hour, and it's like, rather not. Probably gonna complain.
Nice. I did actually. No, it's not true. I'm looking through. I had Jennifer Aniston on here. I did have one. That's the only one I had. I honestly I didn't even bother putting Oprah because I thought for sure Ben was going to take it first pick.
One and only question for Jennifer Aniston is what that mouth do? That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's
well, and to be fair, she was very bottomless. I was adding like the crumbs on the bottom, but yeah.
All right, let me rip off the rest of mine, and then we'll pass it to Buzz to rip off his, and then we'll get out of here. But rest of mine, kind of like the Portnoy one. I'd go Big Cat. I'd like to have Big Cat on. Goes hand in hand with that. Stu Feiner. He'd be a great guest.
It would be so good.
Great guest. Chris Berman. He'd be a lot of fun to have on.
Yep, it's a great one.
Lil Dicky. Feel like he'd be funny.
Oh, that's a really good one. Shit, I didn't even think about that. That's a great one. Yeah.
And my last one, Buzz mentioned it earlier in the show, but Kim Jong Un. Because he would have to tell us if we're going off the basis, if we're going off the guidelines, if you have to tell the absolute truth, I would make him tell me that he did not ace every single hole through 18. You know, so and that he does poop. So
I'd also make him admit that he doesn't have any like legit like nukes and like anything that could like actually get us to be like, come on, say it right now. You have no choice.
Yeah. But it's pretty much my list. I had a few more, but
all right. Well, shit. I have so many. Maybe I'll skip a few here. I don't know. We got Shia. We got Shia. I don't know how to say it. Is it LaBeouf, whatever. Yeah, I don't know how to say. I've heard both. So yeah, Shia. Joey Diaz has to be on there. Tom Segura. Tom Segura. Gronkowski. Tom Brady, obviously. The Rock. Jerry Seinfeld. Eddie Murphy. Chris Rock. Will Smith.
Buzz, do you know that Jerry Seinfeld is a J?
Yeah, I'm starting to think it bothers you more than me.
I just want to make sure. I didn't want you to be upset later and be like, oh, why did I do that?
No, big supporter of that. But where was that? Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, Will Smith. Basically, because I want to be like, does it like bother you that you're like you were so big and now you're the butt of everyone's joke and you kind of embarrassed yourself to this point. Like
I just thought of one
more. Your wife
once
got banged out by Tupac, like all this stuff.
I've got one more after you're done, but keep going.
All right, I got a long one here. So Kendrick Lamar, Gilbert Arenas, just because he's he's just a crazy dude. Neil deGrasse Tyson, just because he's actually smart as hell. The same
teeth too clean for dirty pussy.
That's why Gilbert. Yes, that's actually Neil deGrasse Tyson's quote, right? Yeah,
that's where Gilbert Arenas got it from. Was Neil?
Yes, that's where he got it from. Graham Hancock, probably someone that nobody really knows that much about, but I like him. Edward Snowden
sounds a little gay, but
yes, Edward Snowden. He's still sitting over there, just waiting for people to care. Definitely have him on there. Pete Davidson, Dan Campbell. I mean, come on, the dude's the man. Got to put him. Joe Buck. You already said Ching. I'm gonna skip a few here. Samuel L. Jackson. I'll throw that on there. Stu Gotts for sure.
Another J.
Deion Sanders. Ray Lewis, because I want to be like, hey, did you shot that person, right? For sure. Roger Goodell. I just want him to admit that he lets every player on every team run train on him. Big Papi. Steve Carell. There's so many people. Suge Knight. I'm gonna skip a few. I'm still trying to skip a few. Robert Downey Jr. Great stories there, I'm sure. He went through some wild ass shit. John Bones though. John Bones is a big one. I want to ask him about how that shit went down.
Coming back, fighting soon.
Yep. Dana. I even kind of mentioned it. Dana White, just because he's a main guy. All that stuff. We already said these guys like Jonah Hill, Chris Farley. We didn't. Jonah Hill, Chris Farley. I guess there's still a few more people on there, but I want to keep raging. But I like I said, I have like another 20 people probably a good list, but I skipped a bunch. But that was a lot of people that'd be I think would be really cool to have.
My last one popped into my head. Like I said, one more. Lisa Ann. I feel like that'd be a good interview.
Lisa? All right.
God. You're gonna pretend you don't know who Lisa Ann is? Okay.
I really don't.
It actually doesn't surprise me that you don't know who she is because of. Yeah.
No, well, as soon as I went to go say something, and like as soon as Bean agreed with you, I knew that it was something to do with porn. I saw Bean. Yeah. I was like, all right, it's porn something. That's why I shut up. But you guys caught me. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man.
All right, well, I need to pee. So unless we got anything else, we can wrap this up.
No, let's extend this a little bit. I like him rocking.
You guys can go for it. I'm gonna go pee though. I'll be right back.
All right, I'm good. I'm actually good though. All right, he's gone anyway. So, Bean, what do you got to say though? I guess if we got a minute here, we can cut this out after. What do you got to say?
Nothing, man. I think were you just trying to fuck with him there and make him hold his piss in?
100%. That's why I didn't think he was just
That's what
gonna
I
get up
thought.
and leave. So
That's what I
that
thought.
leads us
He
here,
had
and that's fine.
he
Well,
had
you
no
know what,
time
Bean?
for it too. He's just like, all right, I'm just gonna go then. You guys keep going.
You know, we can cut this out later and stuff. Anyways, I'm assuming we will. So
Yeah.
I'll throw out the other couple people I had that I thought it'd just be like cool to hear their stuff. Was like Schoolboy Q, Juicy J, been around 3-6 Mafia for so long. I want to hear that stuff. Wheeler Walker, I know a bunch of people, maybe a lot of people don't know him, but he's an hilarious dude, hilarious songs. I think he'd be really fun to have on. Tim Kennedy, I don't know if you know anything about him. So just if you look him up, it's a like ex-military. He's got a lot of stuff there on there. It seems like just some crazy stuff. Did I say Pete Davidson? I think I did before. Maybe not. Pete Davidson was the one I had.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was one I had up there. John Krasinski from the The Office and a whole bunch of other stuff.
I'd take anyone from The Office.
Yeah. Ashton Kutcher, Samuel L. Jackson, Morgan Freeman, Dan Le Batard, Shaq, Travis Kelce, because I heard him on the Mike Stud podcast, and he is the dude. He's just like classic guy. Like even being with his like everything he has right now, he's just straight chilling. Like he just seems like such a good dude. Jason Sudeikis, Steve Carell. I think I said him actually. I think I said Floyd Mayweather. I said Suge Knight, right? Just because of I want to know. Honestly, he was one of those people that I should have probably snuck in a little earlier. Keanu Reeves is the man. Alex Jones, because I want to know why Ben likes him so much. Tom Hanks, because I want to know. Honestly, he's just. I like him as an actor, but he seems like he's kind of a shitty person. But we'll see outside that. Conor McGregor. Yeah, Conor McGregor. We'll go from there. And I don't know if I already said this too, but one that I almost had in my top 5 too again was Vince McMahon, though, just because like everything he did with that shit. I think he'd be fascinating to talk to.
Yeah, for sure.
What about Joseph Kony? Is he on your list?
He didn't make it. He didn't make the list. He didn't make that. But either way, I think we had a really good list between all of us. As always, I'm pretty positive I'm going to win, but it was a good one.
You think you're going to win?
I mean, I always think I'm going to win. I mean, every time that I don't win, it's like when Ben, he'll be like, according to what I just saw on here, and I'm the one that has a login, I'm winning. I'm winning, dude. You wouldn't believe it. By 1,000 votes.
You could probably get more votes if you actually posted the poll on your account. That might help.
To be honest, I don't even know how to do that. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta learn this stuff.
That was a tough thing though with draft.
I don't know how to take your guys' stuff.
Toeing the line between getting people that you genuinely want and then also trying to be like what. Community census wise, what do I think most people would want to hear?
That's really what it is. It's like, what do people want to hear right now? That's where I go a lot. And also, like this one, we said, who's gonna like have to tell us everything? Come on now. Like, I mean, a lot of those people, that's why I could go OJ number 1. I mean, he's gonna be on the top 5 anyways. But do I got to put him number 1? Of course, because I got to know. Like, just tell us now. Tell the world you did it, right? Like, what'd you do if he had to tell us truth? Like, no matter what, your truth serum straight up, and he's like, nah, I straight up didn't kill her actually. People would be like, what? Yeah,
that would make us rich.
Beer Money Podcast breaking news.
You heard it here first. Buzz thinks he's innocent. So,
what about Johnny Sins? Is he on your list, Buzz?
I don't know who he is actually. Johnny Sims.
Sins.
I'm gonna look it up.
You should.
No, should I not look it up?
No, look it up.
Okay. Nope. No, I already know what it is now. By the way you said that, I'm good.
No, look it up.
Nope. I'm good.
He's a philanthropist, man. He does a lot of.
I feel like I'm just gonna see a big old dong on my freaking thing, so I'm good right now.
I wouldn't do that to you, dude.
Yeah.
No way, dude.
No, that's why I'm honestly more annoyed with myself that
I would never do that to you.
I fell for it for that half second to be I'm gonna look him up, and then I instantly heard as soon as being loud, I was like, "Yep, of course it's that again."
Lexington Seal.
Well, isn't he the is he the dead one that everyone sends a picture of?
Wait, what were you gonna say? Is he the
dead one?
The
dead one.
No, he's not dead.
He's not the big ass black dude that everyone always sends around with like not that guy.
Most of that's true, but he's not dead now.
Wait, so I guess I don't know. All right, I don't know.
You should Google him.
Nope, I'm good. Yeah, I'm not drunk enough right now to just have dongs pop up all over my phone.
Oh, okay, so there is a level of drunk that you could get to.
I was gonna. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Hey, we all got limits. Don't pretend you're better than anyone else. But,
maybe next week we can do the male porn star draft. That one you would win for sure.
You seem like you have all of them because I don't know any of these people's names.
Yeah, I'm one of them. First overall male porn star pick, Ben Capaldi.
I know. So nice. I know. I don't know if you count like Ray. Can we count Ray J? Does Ray J count on that list?
I think technically,
I could throw him on. I know that name. Tommy Lee. Throw that on.
Mm-hmm. Whoever the guy was that fucked Paris Hilton, that guy.
Oh, that's actually a good point. We should try to get an interview with him. He can't be that expensive. Ask him how that one night in Paris was. Yeah. That one I've never actually seen, but I've heard plenty about it.
That's you can go to Paris. You can get inside Paris without a passport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotcha. All right. Well, instead of this dead silence, you guys all good? We good at it? Get it out of here.
I can tell you're kind of like chomping at the bit to Google Lexington Steel, but it's fine. You don't have to do it on the show. You can do it later.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Just let me have my piece. It's Friday night.
Just for content, can you just for content, just Google them real quick.
No, because I already know it's gonna be. It's gonna say male porn star, and if I click images, it's gonna be dicks everywhere. Like I'm very clear of what this is gonna be now that you said this.
I know. I just want your thoughts.
I should have known in the beginning. Lexington Steel. Like that should have been super obvious. Like I don't need to see Lexington Steel.
I just want you to review him like a 1 through 10. Like what would you score him?
No, I'm not doing this.
Come on.
I'm not doing this. What do you want me to say to you right now? That I'm going to review some male porn star? No, I'm not going to do that.
That's exactly what I want.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I mean, no shame in that. That's your business. You make a lot of money to bang girls. Great for you. But
I sure do.
I don't care. I don't care to Google this, you know? Anyways, with that, yeah. With that said, toodaloo, motherfuckers.